Hi, and thanks so much for joining me. Today we are talking all about the Sephora promotion and the luxury items that I would recommend. So if you'd like to see that, please keep watching. So I debated on whether doing this or not because there are so many videos out right now focusing on this, but I know that many of you are new. So I thought I would do this and include some things in various categories. So 1, what is in my basket that I will be purchasing? 2, what are items that I buy over and over again? And if I had run out at this point, what would I replenish? And then 3, what are some things for the summer that I think you might enjoy? So we're gonna go ahead and just get started and hopefully not forget anything. One of the brands I love most that Sephora carries is Charlotte Tilbury. And there are some items here that I've talked about in the past, maybe haven't mentioned as much, but use a lot. Starting with the Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder in 2. It has a beautiful peachy tone to it. I use this every day. It is something I purchased twice already. As you can see, this one's new, so I don't need to purchase one now, but by the next promotion, then I'll probably need to pick one up. But this one, beautiful. I use it especially right in the center. It sets really nicely. Just a bit of color correcting for me because it has that peach tone to it. So love this, very seamless going on, not powdery looking at all. I love that one. Plus Charlotte Tilbury is one of those brands that rarely, if ever, have I seen her site go on sale. I don't know. So that's when I like to go to Sephora to pick up Charlotte Tilbury because their promotion's pretty good. So I like using the Sephora promo to access Charlotte Tilbury at a discounted price. The next item from Charlotte Tilbury is this Hollywood Flawless Filter. I don't, again, talk about this much, but I do use this often, especially over my sunscreen, which has a bit of a white cast. So this has a nice, again, peachy tone to it. It has a glow without being sparkly. So if you're looking for that, it does moisturize. It does provide hydration. So if you are on the oily side with your skin, I'm not sure you're gonna get along with this as well, but it's a really beautiful product if you're looking for glow, not so much sparkle or glitter, but glow. This is a great one, and I know glowy skin is really in right now. So if you're looking for that, you're gonna find it here, and mine is in 5 Tan. Next up, we've got my favorite highlighter by Charlotte Tilbury. Not my favorite highlighter by Charlotte Tilbury, but my favorite highlighter, which happens to be by Charlotte Tilbury. It's the Hollywood Beauty Light One. So this is a liquid highlighter, different than a powder in the finish, because if you have any texture to your skin, this is going to look so much better on it than a powder. Powder will kind of bring out that texture, but this one is just glowy. Again, I'm not seeing individual particles in here. It just is a glow. So if you are looking for that, I did a dedicated video to this, including the contour one, but this is the one that I use most. So that's the one I would recommend and one that needs to go in my cart because I need another one. Hopefully though, this one that I get will be a little bit more full feeling. This one felt a little bit empty when I first got it. So also I would recommend applying this to your hand first and then applying it with a brush because it comes out kind of in an unpredictable way, and you can see it gets kind of messy. So that's the best way to apply this, but highly recommend this, especially if you have texture to your skin and have trouble with highlighters. That's a great one. The Aucoin palette, again, glowy skin. Also shimmery eyes are the thing this season. So if you are looking for shimmer and you're not quite sure about it, this is a great one because it is a very wearable shimmer. It's not too much. In fact, I have some on my eyelids right now. I just patted it on top of some other makeup I was working on, and I just put these 2 on top. I took them on my fingertips and then just patted it on. Very wearable. Maybe you won't wear this as much, although I still need to do something with this, but I did use that as an accent though. That was really pretty. So if you want to see a whole look on that, I used about half of this palette with one look. I will link the video below. Very wearable shimmers. I believe this is limited edition as well, so I would go and pick it up if you were thinking about it. Very creamy. Wayne Goss did a video on this about talking about the value per pan on this. So it's quite a good value compared to her quads if you calculate it out. So yeah, it's one of her better values, and then having the discount on top would be great. Then I've got my phone. No, the phone is not part of it. Let's talk about, I'm gonna try and keep these separated so I don't repeat or forget something. Another thing that's great for glow is this Giorgio Armani Fluid Sheer. I've got this in 10. Again, it has glow, not sparkle. So you can see right in the bottle, that's the effect you get on your skin. You can mix this in with foundation. I typically put it over my sunscreen. Again, with a white cast, I will add this on top. It kind of brings my skin back to its original color. So I really like this for that. In fact, I might need to add this to my list. It's looking really low. A couple of new items that I picked up. Actually today, this morning, I posted this one, the YSL Touche Éclat High Cover concealers in 4.5 and 5. I'm enjoying these because they don't require a color correcting. I will use this in tandem with my Peau concealer. Really dewy finish. When I first tried this, it was a little bit, I don't know, I was not impressed with it until April at the pop-up shop for YSL put it on me, and she put quite a bit on and kind of patted it into my skin. She used a flat foundation brush, and I was really impressed with the glow level on this. So if you are looking for a glowy concealer, this one is really great. It doesn't necessarily totally dry down, so just know that that's, I mean, you can see my video that I posted this morning on it, and it's very skin-like and glowy, but I wouldn't be touching your face a whole lot with this. But if that's what you're going for, I would recommend these. Also, I'm gonna pick up the Instant Matte Pore Refiner, the full-size one that I talked about in the video. This is one that you can apply under and over makeup. What's nice about this is that with my concealing method is that I will put some under, I'll put the concealer on, I'll put this back on top. If I need more concealer, I can add more concealer. If I were to set with powder though, adding concealer on top of that is a little bit tricky. Not totally impossible, but difficult to do without becoming kind of patchy, because what can happen is you'll lift off the makeup, including the powder, and then it's an uneven texture. But this allows me to add on concealer on top without doing that. So I will pick up the full size of that because I'm enjoying that. Oh, a tool here. So this Giorgio brush, this I use for bronzer. If you watched ever, I do this with it, and it's the only brush that gives me an airbrush type of finish on my bronzer. It does shed still though, and I've had this for many years, so if you get this, I hope yours doesn't shed, but I'm willing to deal with the shedding because of the effect that I get with it, so highly recommend this. I love the way it feels too. It's very light, so it's kind of like you have to be light-handed with it. Love this one. Here's another item by Tom Ford. It's the Eye Defining Pen. I use this almost every time I do a wing liner. Pretty much every time. And what I like about it, it doesn't dry down immediately, so you can manipulate it a little bit before it does set, but once it sets, it's not really going anywhere. It allows me to buff out the edge because I don't like a graphic liner on me per se. I don't think my eyes lend themselves to that kind of eyeliner. So I do like to soften the edge of it or add a little bit of shadow and pull it so that it is a softer edge on me. So this is a great one. Love the formula, love the brush on it too. There's a calligraphy side with bristles, which is why I have to buy a new one because they get kind of mushed when I put the cap back on. And then there's a shorter, more precise felt side on it. So highly recommend this. It takes a little bit of practice to be able to use it to your advantage, but once you get it, really easy to use. I can line my eyes with one hand. I don't have to hold it with one hand and apply it with the other. I can just do a one-handed kind of application. For bright lips, if you are into bright lips like me and you don't want to commit to a whole thing, a full-size one, then you can try, I just talked about these recently, the Pat McGrath. They are in 3 very bright shades, and I believe this is exclusive to Sephora, and I have 2 of the colors on now, Elson and Obsessed. So I've got Elson around and then Obsessed just in the middle. But these 3, if you want to go see that video, I try them all on for you. Beautiful formula. If you don't eat or drink anything, it should look like this for quite some time. The wear on these is really nice and cannot speak highly enough. The application too, you can see it swipes on really easily and just very comfortable. If you're looking for a bright matte, I would highly recommend those. This is not gonna be a surprise. Marc Jacobs Midnight in Paris. I've been using this nonstop in the waterline every day. So if it looks like I just need a little bit more makeup, I'll add this to the waterline and everything looks finished. It's not black, it's not brown, it's just something, but you can't really tell it's navy. It just helps those brown eyes pop. There's a little bit of shimmer in here as well that catches the light really beautifully. I love this one, and I need to pick up another one of those. I can't even count how many times I've purchased this and repurchased it. It's Copper by Laura Mercier. Just can't say enough about this one. continue to purchase it over and over. I think I purchased it when they first released it and have never stopped since, so it's years now that I've continued to repurchase this. I just want to point you in that direction in case you were looking at eyeshadow sticks and maybe haven't tried them before. This would be my very first recommendation for you because it's so versatile. I can put it in the waterline as well, but you can also just put it on top and get a little shimmer or the inner corner. My go-to bronzer just daily is this Guerlain Terracotta Sun Trio. I've talked about this before. I use it often. It's getting low. I don't know if I even need to purchase it yet again because it's not that low, but if it was empty, I would repurchase it. It's just the perfect bronzer for my skin tone. Got some great warmth to it. Might be too warm if you are any cooler than me, but I love this one. It's a perfect bronzer for me. It's matte. If you don't like shimmer, it's a great one. Plus, it has these 3 shades that you can kind of use as a contour. I just swirl it together, but you can use them separately or together. Finally, a couple of skincare items. Herborian Solid Cleansing Oil. I love this. The reason I love it is because even though it's a balm, it doesn't have that balm residue to it. So most of the cleansing balms I've used either take a lot of work to remove or there's like a film left after, which I don't like. So this is more like a cleansing oil. So I love cleansing oils, but I feel like a lot of the product ends up going through my fingers when I use it on my face, which is why I like this because it's solid, so it's not going to run through your fingers. And what happens is it just dissolves your makeup and then it rinses away with no residue. So I could actually do a single cleanse with this because it does remove all of that makeup. But I do go in with another cleanser for a different reason. So love this. If you haven't tried it, I will be adding that to my cart because it is empty. So the next cleanser I'm going to talk about is the Peter Thomas Roth Anti-Aging Cleansing Gel. Now, I was not sure about this. At first it came in a set, so I tried it and then I realized it's kind of making a difference. So in tandem with all the other things I do to brighten my skin and especially those dark areas, I noticed this makes a difference. So I'm going to pick up the full size of this. It says it helps visibly brighten with glycolic acid and fruit extracts for all skin types except I think sensitive. So yeah, I will be picking this up because it is part of my routine to get rid of all of the darkness. So I continue to work at that every day and protect my skin every day. So that is one of the things that I will be picking up to help with that. So I hope that helps. I know Sephora can be overwhelming. In fact, I don't really venture into the store at this promotion time because I get distracted by the displays and all of the new things, and I end up with things in my basket I didn't really mean to end up with, and also forget the things that I meant to pick up. So shopping online is much easier for me. I can narrow it down to the essentials, but shopping online, it really does help me narrow that focus and make sure I get those things that I meant to get. So I hope this helps you focus as well into things that I really stand behind and know work for me and have worked for me over and over, and things that I just trust to work for me. So let me know if that helps you out a little bit. I hope it did. So if you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.